we actually had just expanded into another unit, and because we were growing, so we spent a lot of money getting that shop ready, up and going. And then June last year, or July, our landlord let us know that he wasn't renewing our lease.
Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rock Your Brand podcast. I'm your host, Scott Voker, a serial entrepreneur on a mission to help you. This show is designed to teach you, to inspire you, to motivate you to take massive action and build a future-proof business. So, whether you're just starting out or taking your existing business to the next level, this is your home. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock your brand. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rock Your Brand podcast. This is episode number 851, and today I am fired up because I'm bringing on one of our very own Brand Creators Academy members, Tylinda, and she is going to share exactly what she did immediately after joining, but also how she was able to increase traffic and increase sales. Super excited to share this with you. The other thing that I think you're going to love about this interview, not just that you're going to be able to model what she's done and really look at your business through her eyes, because no matter where you are in business, you are pretty much going to want to look at what is the low-hanging fruit. And for her, it was building an email list and then starting to drive traffic. And that's what she did immediately. But the other thing that I want you to pay attention here, and this is what I love about all of our guests really, is that it wasn't always easy. And there were numerous times that she felt like giving up. And she actually started back in 2013. And then from there went in a completely new direction. And then from there, had one of her main clients, one of the ones that was supplying her with a lot of the business, kind of like being dependent on Amazon, and it went away. And they had to think to themselves, her and her husband, by the way, which they're a team, which I love that. And they had to figure out what was going to be that next step for them. And that was back in 2018. And then they started to sell on Amazon, and they were like, yes, this is cool, but I need to diversify, just like we talked, right? Because Amazon can be that one channel that we're all depending on, and we don't want to do that. So again, you're going to take a lot away from this episode. And again, that's why I wanted to highlight Tylinda, one of our members. But also, depending on when you're listening to this, this is airing on July 6th, on a Monday. And the reason why I wanted to air it on this day is because right now, if you're listening to this, when we air this on July 6th or the week of July 6th, we are opening Brand Creators Academy for 5 days, starting on July 6th. And the reason why we are opening now is because, we only open a few times a year, and this is the time. And I've been really letting you guys know probably about maybe 2 months ago. I've been kind of letting you know that we're going to be opening. Well, now is the time. And I figured, you know what? Let's highlight one of our members. Last week, we highlighted another member, Octavio, and he talked all about how he got unstuck. And it's a common thread within our academy is that people generally will come in either overwhelmed, confused, not sure what direction to go in or where to start even, and they get stuck. And what we do is we get them unstuck. And you're going to hear just with this interview alone with Tylinda, how she was kind of at that place too. And now she's developing the skill set to take with her on in the future. And you're going to also hear how she has future plans and how this is going to help her get there. All right. So guys, the show notes can be found at brandcreators.com/851. I do recommend going and grabbing them. You'll get all of the links to everything that we mentioned there. But again, I wanted to remind you, if you're interested in joining Brand Creators Academy, now is the time. If I was you, I would go to brandcreators.com/join, and you'll be able to join Brand Creators Academy. All right, guys. So I'm going to stop talking so you can listen to this awesome interview that I did with Tylinda. Enjoy. Hey, Tylinda, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Scott. I'm enjoying this summer.
Yeah, well, we're kicking off the summer, and I know you've been doing a little bit of traveling a little bit, just in your new RV, which is is kind of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
That family time in.
Yeah, you got to get the family time in.
Yep.
So that's awesome. But I'm so glad that you were able to take some time out of your busy day. I know you're running a business, and you're running a pretty good sized business, I would say, and starting from not, like having. Well, we'll let everyone kind of hear the backstory, but man, you're really cranking along over there. And I wanted to get you on because, like you said, even before we actually hit record, it hasn't all been easy to get to
No.
where you are. And you are one of our members inside BCA, Brand Creators Academy. And I wanted to bring you on and just have you kind of tell us, like, what was it like, building the business, and then what even, what had you thinking that you needed some additional help? And I think didn't you and I at one point go back and forth a little bit about you possibly coming to the lake house?
Mhm.
Yeah. I thought so. And it just, the timing didn't work out for you or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, give us a little bit of a backstory. Who is
Okay.
Tylinda? Where does she come from?
Well, I live in Oklahoma City now. I'm actually was born in California, but I moved out here like 20 something years ago, and met my husband out here, so I ended up staying. But I went to school to be a speech pathologist. So
Mm.
finished my master's degree when I was 23 and started practicing speech therapy.
Oh.
Um, and so I assumed that was going to be my life, Um, in the meantime, my husband and I had some other business ventures. We had a boat dealership, and we were making tornado shelters.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and both of those were surviving, but they weren't thriving.
Mm-hmm.
We were just barely getting by.
Mm.
And then a lot of things happened. We had kind of the economy took a downturn, and we had somebody that was embezzling money from
Ooh.
us, and so basically everything, we pretty much lost everything. We had
Oh, wow.
shut down the businesses, um, and basically start over.
Mm.
So we decided to work on the rustic wood business. It kind of fell in our lap, and we had all this land. We had room to grow, something there, but we didn't know what. And
Mm.
so we started this business where we were recycling, reclaimed wood, and our primary customer was a big chain store that built the barnwood picture frames. And so
Oh,
that was
okay.
our whole business. We had a few guys working. We made, we got the wood ready for them and sold it to them, and they made picture frames out of it. And that was
Mm.
99% of our business. So that was going fine. It was paying some bills, and my husband was working there. I was doing speech therapy. Um, but then a couple of years ago, the store decided they're not going to make the picture frames anymore.
Ooh.
They're going to, buy them from China, and they basically stopped making the picture frames. So that was our main customer
Wow.
all of a sudden, and it happened within like a couple of months. Uh, Initially, they were buying as much wood as we could get them, and there was no limit on how much we could sell them. So if we brought them, you know, 3,000 boards, they bought 3,000 boards. If we brought them 10,000 boards, they bought 10,000 boards. So
Wow.
it was like unlimited
Mm.
sales, right? And then one day they said, okay, we're only going to buy 500 boards a week from you now.
Mm.
And that was when we had 5 guys working there, and basically selling them 500 boards wouldn't be enough to pay one person to
Mm-hmm.
work there. So
Mm.
we kind of got that thrown in our lap with no warning. So we had talked about selling online, but you kind of get in your comfort zone. We
Mm-hmm.
wanted to sell online, but it's like, why go to all the trouble of doing that? We have a
Mm-hmm.
customer that will buy as much as we can make for them. There's no reason for us to complicate things. So
Mm.
whenever they told us they weren't going to be buying any wood from us anymore, that was like, oh shoot,
Mm.
well, we're either going to shut the business down, or we're going to um, make our pivot, make our change. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what that's when we decided to try and start selling online.
How long ago was that, Tylinda?
Uh,
That the pivot
about
happened?
about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Let me
so
back you up though, real,
yeah.
real quick, because I'm curious. Uh,
Mhm.
how did you? Okay, you had some land, and you're like, you know what? We could do reclaim wood. Like, where
Mhm.
does that even fall into your lap? Like, where does that like aha, or where does that? We could probably cut down some stuff or take some old stuff and recycle it. Like, there's a show out there
Right.
now too. I was watching it. You probably know about it. It's the one where they tear down old barns and then
Uh-huh.
they use all the timber and stuff to they create new structures from them, which it's a whole business in itself. But I'm just
Right.
curious, like, how did you see that there was a place in the market that could potentially want this?
Well, the factory was here in Oklahoma City where they made the picture frames.
Ah, okay.
And so a lot of people knew that they were building them there.
Okay.
And then a couple of people, just talking to people, we had people that we knew that had worked in the warehouse there, and they're like, hey, these people are buying wood as fast as they can get it and they can't get enough of it.
Mm.
And so it was just kind of one of those things like, okay, here there's a customer here that can't get enough product, and we're over here with enough room to do
Mm.
this, and we already have trucks and trailers and all the things that we need, so let's give it a shot.
Mm.
um
And so where do you
so
get the supply though at that point? Like how are you doing that? Are you getting old like wood and then just are you like planing it, and like lead me through a
mhm.
little bit of that? Like where do you then say, "Oh, okay, we have a need. Now we need product."
Right, so we work with a lot of we started calling all the contractors in the area, just
Okay.
finding out what they did with their old wood. What did they do? um did they have somebody that picked up their wood that they didn't use, or that the wood that they were going to dump? And
Mhm.
we get wood from buildings, fences, a lot of different structures. So
Oh, okay.
basically, I figured if we could get in with a few of the contractors and offer them a service,
Mm.
that would be beneficial to them, then
Mhm.
we could get the wood. And so we just started calling, and
Mm.
because that factory is in our city, we already had like several competitors, several
Okay.
people that were trying to get the wood.
Ah, okay.
Um, but we kind of, into talking with the contractors, we had to figure out what's going on with these people that you're working with. How's it working? And we found out that our competitors weren't providing very good service. You know,
Mhm.
they weren't picking it up fast enough. They were leaving a mess when they
Oh,
left, things
okay.
like that. So we just
Uh-huh.
started trying to improve on what they were doing. And
Mhm.
slowly but surely, we started getting calls from a lot of new contractors saying, hey, we hear you're doing this and you're better
Mm.
than the last guy used. And so it picked up pretty quick.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. So I'm a contractor. I'm tearing down an old fence, and I'm like, I got to get rid of this stuff. I got to pay to get rid of this stuff because it's
mhm.
just, it's lumber. I got to get a dumpster, do all that. You basically were saying like, we'll come in and clean it all up for you. Just put it in a pile. We'll grab it. We'll
Yep.
throw it in our truck, and we'll take it away, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and so at that point now, you got to figure out like what they need. So is that like your husband and you kind of figuring out, okay, how do we decide what they need, sizes, or do you go to
Mhm.
them and say, what are the dimensions that you need? What's the quality that you
Right.
need? And some of those things that you need to
Yeah,
figure
we
out before
went
you
to
can
them
offer it.
and we went to them and said we would like to start selling wood to you. What are your requirements? And they had a very specific list for us. It
Okay.
needs to be, have all of these qualities, and
Hmm.
as long as it meets these qualifications, we'll buy as much of it as you can bring
Wow.
us. And
Wow.
so that's kind of how that started. At first, it started off a little bit slow, but as luck would have it, I don't know if you want to say luck, but as soon as we got all that set up, we had some major tornadoes in Oklahoma City.
Oh.
Actually in more. So
Mm.
suddenly there was wood on every corner, on every street, you know,
Mm.
that was just there. So that's kind of what got us jump started. Is we had it was perfect timing as far as when we started.
Mm-hmm.
um, the tornadoes came through, and then of course, like, an entire city was getting rebuilt and we were there to help, with a lot of that cleanup process. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of worked out, and that was back in 2013 is when we
Wow.
started this. So it's been 7 years.
Okay. So now the picture frame, let's kind of go back to that part now. So you get you're supplying wood to the picture frame companies and everything's going great. And then all of a sudden you find out, again, dependent on that one supplier, that one company, right? That one channel, as we always say, it doesn't matter if it's Amazon or eBay, it's one channel. And you guys were kind of comfortable with it. I mean, it's normal. And then you're like, oh crap, we got to do something else. Do we just sell to other picture frame places, or do we start doing more with the reclaimed wood?
Yeah.
So how does that all happen? How does that take place?
So we had that big company and we had one other little customer, and we thought, well, with this other little customer, we can basically pay our bills for about a month, and then we're pretty much going to be out of money, So that was when it was time to, get in gear. So I'd already been doing the research about selling the wood online. I just hadn't, followed through with it. I was just in that, analysis phase where you can just analyze everything forever. And so that's pretty much where I was. And then of course, when the fire was lit under me, we got it going, and we got signed up with Amazon, and kind of started our adventure into learning how to be an Amazon seller, which was a nightmare. Nothing was right. The packaging had to be a certain way. Just figuring out how to ship the product into Amazon was a nightmare because everything we sold was oversized. They had so many different requirements, and basically it took us a few months to finally get it down to where I could send in inventory, and it was okay. So we did that.
Now, was that inventory, was it specific to picture frames, or was it more of like reclaimed wood on the back of a wall and stuff like that?
Yeah, reclaimed wood for projects, home improvement. And we weren't actually making anything with it yet. We were just selling the wood.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we started with our sales online.
Okay. And so I guess that was probably a little bit of a trial and error. Was anyone else already doing it that you could kind of model, that you were like, oh, they're proving to us that people are buying it? And
yeah, there were a few people selling it online. Actually, our main competitors are just like in the same city as us too. So
oh wow, that's funny.
But there were a few people selling it, but nobody was really selling it. Nobody was really selling the way we were selling. They were all selling like this really processed product, that was, it didn't really even look like reclaimed wood. They were selling stuff that was really clean, or it like really, it looked almost like new wood. And so the way that the direction that we took was going with the really rustic, authentic barnwood style wood that you can see all the blemishes and the dents and the dings, and you could really see a difference if you put our wood up next to something you would buy at like Lowe's or Home Depot. You could see where the difference was. And so we just kind of put it out there. Here it is. It's for sale online.
Yeah.
And it took a couple of weeks to get the first sale.
Okay.
It was like a sample box, So
yeah.
it was like, oh my gosh, somebody actually bought it.
Yeah. Someone bought it, not in my hometown.
Yeah. And so then it started selling, and it just started growing. Every week we sold a little bit more and a little bit more. And so we got to the point where we had to hire, we got to keep all of our original guys that were with us. And then we hired a couple more people, and we were staying pretty busy, and it went on like that for about a year. In the meantime, I'm still working at my full-time job.
Oh, okay.
And I was a rehab director, so was like overseeing 6 different rehab facilities, and then coming home at night and doing all the stuff for for the business, you know, so
Yeah.
putting in a lot of long days and just thinking like, I don't know how much longer I can do this, but we can't
Mm,
survive on this business alone. You
right,
know,
right.
my salary was safe and secure, and
Sure.
I didn't really want to give that up.
Right, right. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary for sure. So okay, so you move into the online space, you start getting some traction. Where is the next kind of move? Because you're doing that, but then you're probably like, well, again, you're dependent on Amazon. You're only selling, on that one
Hmm.
platform. Where do you start to see that next shift for the business?
Right.
Oop.
Well, I and in the meantime, I decided I would go back to school and get my move up in the corporate world and get a better paying management job, or I'm going to make this business big enough that I don't have to be in the corporate world anymore. So in the process of doing my MBA is kind of when all of the online stuff was going on. You know, it was all happening at once.
Okay.
Um, I was like, either we're gonna, this is like the come to Jesus meeting with my husband. Okay, we're either gonna make this business work where
Mhm.
it's supporting us 100%, or I'm going to, try to get a better paying job and just kind of focus more on that. Which
Mhm.
I didn't want to do that
Right.
because Scott, when you have family, you want to spend time with them. And I was
Oh
tired
yeah.
of working all day there, coming home and working all night on the computer. And
Mm,
my full-time job was really demanding too. I got calls all
mm,
night. I got calls on the weekends. There was always some kind of problem that really I was even when I was with my family, I wasn't like present with them. I was
yeah.
on my phone all the time answering questions
Mhm.
and things like that. So so that was this at that time was when I said, this is what, we've got to make this work. So um I started adding some more products, things that I had made. Like I used to make them in my garage and take them to craft shows. And so we started adding some more signs and just things like that. And it started picking up. Um, and then it finally got to the point where it was busy enough. I thought, okay, I'm going to quit my job. And then I still worried about it for another 3 months because I just did not want to let go of that paycheck.
Yeah, yeah.
So finally we just said, okay, we're setting a date and you're doing it. So in March of 2018, or 2019, sorry, March of 2019, I quit my job and I decided to work on the business full time.
Mm,
So got really busy with orders and everything, and I was just basically in the shop, working in the shop all day. I'm sanding wood, cutting wood, doing all of that stuff, but I wasn't building the business.
mhm.
I was doing a little bit as I could, but whenever you came out with the Brand Creators Academy, I was one of the first,
Mhm.
the very first group to start. So
Yeah.
I just decided like I'm gonna do this, and then once I got in with the group and I felt all of that motivation and that like drive to get things done and actually build the business, that's when everything started, really picking up, and we've just made huge progress since then.
Mm. I want to dive into that because again, people listening, they may think also, you've gotten to this point, you've grown an email list now, you've you know did Facebook ads now, like all of this stuff that you never could have imagined doing, and you're
Mhm.
doing it and you're learning, and yeah, it's still a struggle here and there with maybe tech or something, right? But you figure it out. It's like you said, if you got to sand the wood, you're going to sand the wood. Someone's got
Yeah.
to do it. So lead us through that. Like you join and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to join, but I got to take action here and I got to actually put this stuff to work. So take us through. And I know you got some numbers and stuff to share with us, but like, what does it look like? I mean, you can take me any direction you want. I just know that there's been growth. Tell me
Yeah.
about the growth. Tell me about what it's been like. And you just told me before we got on, you're like, I finally feel like I can take a breath because we've been so darn busy.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, it's a catch 22, right? We could have been
Yeah.
hoping and praying we get some work, right?
Exactly. I'm not definitely not complaining about being too busy, but we have slowed down a little since April and May.
Mm.
So when I started in the group, I had a pretty good foundation. I mean, I had my website.
Mm-hmm.
We were selling on Etsy and Wayfair, and then some website sales. And I had my Facebook page had like 3,000 followers on it. And so we had that foundation there, but it was all just basically organic. I hadn't really done a lot to grow it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started in the group, the first thing that I kind of did was, went through the checklist, and then we started just growing things together, with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had those things in place. I had the Instagram page, I had the Facebook page, my website, but there wasn't, a ton of activity on there. So
Mm-hmm.
we started with one of the giveaways, and
Mm-hmm.
that was really, our first giveaway was really successful. We got like 10,000 email subscribers, and a ton of extra sales and people following the page. And, that gave us a lot of exposure and kind of started growing everything, our Instagram and Facebook and all of that. So since then, it's continuing to grow, but I know that initial push was what kind of like got us in there. We were just kind of nobodies on social media before that. And then that initial exposure, got us out there, and then people sharing our posts and just really exposing us to the other parts of the world. Before that,
Sure.
our followers were almost all from Oklahoma, and now our followers are like all over the country.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know that you're an action taker. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, you're actually doing it, and it just when you're explaining what you're doing as you're growing your business, forget about all of that stuff, but like, you're willing to get in there and get your hands dirty and do it. So I think that's a big thing. And for people to listen to this, just understand, like, if you looked at Tylinda, through the entire journey, there's been ups and downs, and there's been times that you could have given up, but you didn't.
Oh yeah.
Right?
For
Did
sure.
you maybe want to? Of course. Like, we all
Yes.
are like, is this worth it? Right. But
Right.
you actually gave us a tour inside of your shop with all of the people working for you. And it was pretty awesome to see, like, a lot of your family is in there working. Like, you were pointing out, that's Uncle, I don't know, John, Gus, whatever, your uncle, what I mean? Like, and you've got everybody threaded throughout the entire company. And I just thought it was really awesome to see that. And it's got to feel good, right?
It does. And we have both people from my side of the family and my husband's side of the family, both sides are involved, and we help. We have, a bunch of family members here, and then just our staff, is growing. We're up to 15 full-time employees now.
Wow.
And then some part-timers. So it has gone really big, but like you said, Scott, it hasn't been an easy road. In the midst of all of the chaos, and actually right before we started with BCA, we almost quit again because we had a huge, we had been in the same shop for a long time, and we actually had just expanded into another unit, and because we were growing, so we spent a lot of money getting that shop ready, up and going. And then the month, like, I think it was in June last year or July, our landlord let us know that he wasn't renewing our lease.
Ooh.
And it was like devastating, because we had a 6,500 square foot shop that was completely full of stuff. And we had an acre lot that was completely full of wood and equipment and all that. And at the time we were like, there's no way we can do this. There's no way we have the money to move this shop, plus come up with the money to find a new shop, put down a deposit, all of those things that add up so much. It's like, we're just thinking that it was impossible. And at that time, like, I already quit my job, I'm like, this is what I was afraid of, something's going to happen and it's not going to work out. But we just, when things happen and you think it's the worst possible thing that can happen, a lot of
Mm,
times it's the best thing that happens.
mm,
You come up against these obstacles and you think there's no way I'm getting over this. I just
mm,
can't. And then somehow you make it over and you realize that on the other side it's even better than you thought it could be. So we somehow scraped it together and did everything we had you know to get our shop moved, and it was a lot. It was really tough, but we got to the new place, and which is the shop that I did in the
yeah,
tour.
yeah.
It's 100 times better than our old shop. It was such a huge upgrade for us, and it actually cost us about the same as the old shop.
Oh, wow.
So in our mind, we would have never moved if we
Mm,
didn't have to, because it was just too big of a project. But the fact that we had to move was the best thing that happened. And that was just another example of, those obstacles that you face when you're an entrepreneur. Sometimes they seem like they're really, you can't believe something that horrible has happened, but it's one of those
mm,
examples of something that turned out much better.
mm,
Um, so we couldn't do the stuff that we're doing now if we were still at the old shop.
right.
We didn't have the room to like have a painting room and have a room for our inventory and our boxes. So being at the new location really allowed us to expand our products, or expand our product line, and also have room to hire more people and be able to up our production.
Mm.
So that was just another step,
Yeah.
another kind of thing that helped us.
And it's funny that you say that, because when you're going through it, it's like, why is this happening? And then now you look back and you're like, man, imagine if that never happened, we wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
done this, and this wouldn't be
Exactly.
in place. But
Right.
it's tough going through it, and you know, it's happened to all of us, and I think it'll happen again. It's like something else will happen. But I always try to look at the lesson in that, or the thing that happened that wouldn't have happened, and I think it's just meant to happen. Um,
Right.
so thanks for sharing that, and it was a great tour, by the way. We all enjoyed it inside of BCA. We're just like, this is so awesome. And then even you posting, a picture of an RV that you and your husband were looking at getting, and sharing that. And you're like, I know it's not a Lamborghini, but this is our Lamborghini, and it's like,
Right.
honestly, in our tribe, really, that is our Lamborghini, because we want the freedom, we want the flexibility. And I
Right.
think the RV is kind of, it's that experience, and that's what we
Mm-hmm.
all want. So it's pretty
And
cool.
that was a huge day for us because, like I gave you kind of a long timeline, but if you look at like the real meat of everything that has happened, it's like we were in business from 2013, and between 2013 and 2018, things were just cruising along, just whatever.
Mhm.
And then it was just 2 years ago that we said, but we had figured out we had to do something different.
Mm,
And so it's been since 2018 until now that things went from just a little tiny, family business that was just making enough to like get by and pay some of our bills, to now our shop that we have, where we have, you know, 15 to 18 people here every day. And, this shop is feeding a lot of families, which is
absolutely.
really such a huge feeling of accomplishment for me, is that we have all these families that are working for us,
Mm,
that have good jobs, and
mm,
that work for people who are good to them and appreciate them, um we all kind of count on each other. But just the transition from that little business in the field basically to
mm,
where we are now has been so tremendous, and just happened in such a short time, these two
mm,
years. And especially just in the last 6 to 8 months, when we started growing our list and doing our marketing and everything, it's taken off like wildfire.
mm,
And then with everything with COVID, that really helped us too, because now people were at home. They had time to do projects. They had, um,
mm.
they weren't getting out of the house, so they were able to stay home and work on their home improvement tasks, and then we had already kind of laid that foundation. So when the first, news came out of people being at home, I mean, we were immediately able to send out an email to everybody saying, hey, are you guys stuck at home? Well, now's the time to get your projects done. And here's a coupon to get you started. And I mean, it just took off. And so we've been working a lot of hours and everything, trying to keep up since the middle of March. But being able to go and buy the RV that we wanted and take a couple of days off and go out with the family, that's been the big payoff at the end, is like all this hard work that we've done, all the struggles, all the trials that we've been through, they're all paying off now, and we're able to enjoy some of that freedom, which is what we're all working for.
Totally.
We all want that time with our kids and our family, and it's like, okay, it's finally here.
Hey, here it is.
Yeah.
No, that was really cool for you sharing that. And I just, again, I want to just even publicly say here inside BCA, I mean, you're always there chiming in, whether it's just encouraging people or even just asking for help yourself. I mean, I think it goes both ways. You got to ask for help in order to get help. And I think you're okay with that, but you're also there to not just take, you're also there to give. And just you even sharing, like you had a breakdown of like everything in your one, giveaway, like all of the cost per acquisition and how many emails and what it ended up costing you and the prize and all of that stuff. And then what did it look like afterwards? And then the uptick in sales and like just that detailed stuff to give each other is so helpful. Just as people being able to see it versus me just saying a hypothetical thing about,
Right.
Oh, bass fishing, what if you did this, you can do that. So I just want to thank you again for being awesome in the group. So let me ask you this though. So building that email list, like that was probably one of the things that you're like, we're going to do that because if we do that, then we have direct communication with people that potentially would want to buy from us. How has that helped you since like doing the giveaway? Because a lot of people are like, yeah, you do a giveaway and giveaway emails probably aren't as qualified as maybe giving a lead magnet or something like that. What has been your experience with you building the email list and then sending emails?
I'm honestly still learning, and I'm not, I'm getting more comfortable with it now, but at first we did that giveaway and I got the 10,000 email, subscribers, and then I just didn't send them anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I have these 10,000 people waiting for me to say something and I don't know what to say, so I would just send them a coupon. Like, here's 10% off. Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah.
And then I think you were like, just talk to them, they're just people. They just want to hear, talk to you. And so we came up with a couple ideas in the group. You guys helped me figure out some blog articles to do, some project ideas. And so that was, I think, the first thing that I sent out, and actually got some people that replied, and I was thinking, wow, somebody's actually reading these.
They're on the other end.
Yeah. So they would reply and say like, oh, I like how number 3 is, did you, what kind of paintbrush did they use for that? And I thought, oh my gosh, they're actually reading it too. They're not just opening it.
And they want to do the project.
Yeah, this is really working. So then I started feeling a little more comfortable, and I still haven't been sending out as regularly as I should, but I'm getting better, getting some more articles written, and that's getting better. But it has helped, for being able to send out special deals, where we have like a new product. Here's our new product, and you get 10% off of that. So I've been doing some of those too. But like you said, you don't want to be selling everything, selling to them every time you send them something. So that's why we've been working on building some more content to send out information to. We're giving them something instead of trying to sell them, and that's been going well. I can tell more people are opening the emails now. My open rates have gotten higher. The click-through rates are getting better. So I think we're kind of whittling out, we're getting rid of some of those people that weren't interested, that just wanted the free stuff. And then now getting more just active, a more engaged audience. So,
yeah, I think a big thing for you, and I think we talked about it too, it was like, yeah, you can sell, reclaimed wood and do the back of a wall, right? Like that's one thing, but you could do endless projects with that type of stuff.
yeah.
And it's like and I think that's what I was kind of trying to kind of have you do, is like come up with projects that people can do out of reclaimed wood. It could be for, well, my daughter just we just had a baby shower, right? It could be something for the baby out of make a frame, or maybe it's a little stand. And if you do that stuff on a regular basis, it's like, here's how you do it, whether you buy our wood or not. But if you want to buy the wood pack, here it is. It's kind of like you're giving the DIY, but you sell product that helps with the DIY. So to me, it's a natural fit. So I would just figure out, how do I come up with starting with 12 projects? That would be one a month, right? And then every single time that would get dropped in an autoresponder. And then all of a sudden you got 2 years worth of maybe projects. And then that will start to build on itself. So that's what I'm going to be pushing you on in the future, by the way. Because I want to get that dialed in for you, because I also think too, and correct me if I'm wrong, this happens. It's like you do all this stuff, then all of a sudden business starts coming in, you start backing off on the marketing because you're like, well, I got to keep up with orders. I didn't get time to do that stuff. Right.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So we yes, I get it, but that's where then maybe you need to be more of the marketing director or whatever, right? You're like, hey, I'm going to bring in a lot of orders. We got to get that stuff done. And then maybe you need to hire someone to basically fill your shoes on things that you're doing, so you can focus on just bringing in more business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what we just recently did. A couple of weeks ago, we finally hired like a shop supervisor. Because, well, for one thing, I wanted to be able to leave and go to the lake in the middle of the day if I wanted to.
Hey, that's good.
But also I didn't want to have to be out there all day keeping up with everybody, making sure everything was getting done. I need to be in the office, working on building the company. And so just since we started that, I've had more time even now to start getting back into the marketing side of things and working on my ads. But yeah, it is hard. And I know as a business owner, a small business owner, especially if for people who are in a business like ours, where you're doing the daily grind, it is so hard to be able to turn that side off and work on building the business. If you have to try to work on your business, not in your business. And it's tough, especially if you're like a one-man show, or it's just you and your husband or wife doing it. It's really hard, but you have to, my big, advice is that you have to take time to build the business. And that is what BCA helped me tremendously with, that, because I felt the pressure to get it done because other people were getting it done, and it's like, I'm competitive by nature. So I'm like, well, Octavio's posted 3 blogs already this week and I haven't even posted one. So I need to like get my butt in gear. But, that, having the support of the group was really good. But if you don't have that kind of support, you just have to take it upon yourself to put yourself some goals for the week and just make sure that you try to get those done, and try not to get sucked into the day-to-day operations as much,
Right. And I also think for you, and I know we've talked about this, again, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, but things are coasting along okay right now. But your side of it is your side also lends itself to bringing in revenue from other sources, not just your selling of the wood. So I would love to see you get there by the content creation of DIY projects with reclaimed wood for whatever. And then from there, you're getting traffic coming to the website, which yes, will in turn sell product, but it'll also bring in maybe ad money, or maybe it'll bring in affiliate sales stuff that you don't sell. You don't sell stuff maybe in that, but you sell maybe the wood that goes on it or whatever. Because then that's next level, because now you're getting revenue without you having any of your employees have to do that work. It's a whole separate revenue stream.
Exactly.
That's where I want to see you go.
Well, and I want to start another brand, once I get my head above water, that is more digital, and I just haven't narrowed it down, but I want to do both. So I do want to have something that doesn't involve us having to like manufacture a physical product, you know, just something that we can work on digitally.
Right.
But that's down the line, you know, but it is on my to-do list.
But the cool thing is though, and you know this, right? Everything you're doing to build this business, you'll just use that on the next business, right? Like I believe this business is just to prepare you for your next move, right? It could be in 10 years, who knows? Or maybe you have this and someone takes over it and you're just you're just a partner in it now, or whatever, who knows? But all of these things that you're doing for the marketing side, even hiring though, that's a great skill set to have, how to hire the right people and how to, make sure that you can let go of certain things. Like all that stuff is good. But the marketing side, like you creating emails, you creating content, you setting up an email list, like all that stuff, you're going to take it with you. So you've done so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah. It's amazing. Just the transition since, I mean, if anybody that's listening is on the fence, like you're wondering if it's worth it to put forth the effort to do these things, I mean, it is. And I do have like my numbers just from the last 6 months, because I want people to see the significant growth you can have, when you put forth the effort. So, when we started BCA in November, and I had already started doing some marketing and things like that. But these are just the numbers from November until now, which is right about 6 months. No, well, however many months it is. 7 months?
7-ish.
7.
We'll call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we started, we had 3,800 Facebook followers, and now we're up to 6,500.
Nice.
So we've gained quite a bit there. We started a Facebook group, which is a DIY group. We just started that in February, and we've grown to 1,300 members in that group. And that's actually that's a really fun group. And the members are really active. They're all posting projects, and it's not just stuff with our wood, it's just all kinds of projects. But we have a lot of people posting stuff they made with our wood too, which is great advertisement for us. Our Instagram, we started out with just 300 followers, and we're almost to 1,700. And then our Pinterest page, which we started in January, we are up to getting about a little over 4,000 link clicks a month on our Pinterest.
That's great.
So that's growing, and that all feeds into that, getting your blogs and doing your, getting that out there, because especially the how-to articles, they really like those. So, so that's been good. We're getting a lot of visits to our website from Pinterest. And our monthly website traffic in November, and I couldn't believe this was true, but in November, we were only getting about 100 visitors a month on our website. So we had a website, but nobody ever saw it.
Yeah.
But we're up to right now between 2,500 and 3,000 visits a month on our website.
Great.
So, and that's just since November. So our YouTube subscribers, we have almost 1,000 YouTube subscribers now, but I haven't really started putting a lot of content on there. That's another goal that we have. Our email list, we have almost 12,000 email subscribers now.
That's great.
And then our sales. So originally we were on Etsy and Wayfair and our website and Amazon, but we weren't selling much, on any place except for Amazon. But now our sales on Etsy have gone up 450% from this time last year.
Wow.
Wayfair's almost 400% increase, and our website's almost a 400% increase. So just those three platforms, increasing like that has been a good confidence booster for us too, because we're not just dependent on Amazon. Although Amazon is still our main source of income. And our sales from Amazon this year, before the quarantine started, we were up 70% from the year before, which was really good. So
that's great.
The quarantine happened. We're actually up these last couple of months. Our numbers are like 150% over what we did last year, but I can't attribute that all to my great marketing.
Right. Yeah.
but you can see that all those numbers are going up, and they just keep going up. Every
Mm.
month it's like they're going up again,
Mm-hmm.
and every avenue is growing.
Mm.
So
Let me ask you this before we're going to wrap up here soon, but like on the on your articles that you've created so far, how many have you created approximately?
hmm,
You say.
I think we have about 15 now,
Okay.
and
So
some of them are just,
you've been doing a couple a month then.
yeah, I didn't really start doing the blogs until the last, I think, 3 months. I
Okay.
think we posted our first one 3 months ago,
Yep.
and then we didn't post another one for a month.
Yep. I think you jumped in
So
and
we,
started just doing the email list build right away.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I think everyone has to figure out what is going to be the best thing for their business where they are. If you're coming in with a business, the first thing that you guys would want to do is, because it's going to give you an initial push, is the giveaway, because then you're going to draw attention to your products
Hmm.
and, your business. And it ultimately worked, right? And like,
Yeah.
just by doing the giveaway, your sales also went up just from doing the
Hmm.
giveaway. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our sales jumped up like 70% after the giveaway. And just from that uh, post being shared over and over again, I think, I don't remember how many thousand views that post had, the first one. It was like 30 or 40 or 50,000 views, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a ton of sales during the giveaway, and then after the giveaway was over, we sent out the email saying, we've announced the winner, and I think we gave like a 15% off discount to everybody on the list, everybody who entered. And
Sure.
just the sales that we got off of that discount code
Mm-hmm.
alone was enough to pay for all the costs associated with the giveaway.
That's
So
great.
it turned out
So
to
free
be,
email list,
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So like, again, you jumped in with the email because you're like, what's the quickest thing for our business to get more traction, more sales? Is that right? The other side, the content
Right.
creation side, is really, how can I get traffic? But it's going to take some time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, I mean, even you getting 2,500 is great, but wait until you start getting some more content. That number will go way up.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's priorities, and
Right.
I respect that. It's like there's only so much time in the day, but I think you have a lot of room to move with the project world of DIY, and then just creating content that people are looking for, or just project types that they're looking for, or shelving, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch
Mm-hmm.
of different areas, but again, focus is right now. You got to obviously, do what you can to drive sales, and you're doing that. But, yeah, really excited for you though. You guys have a bright future. Super excited that you're part of BCA, and you're just always adding value. And that's, I think, what I really, really love about having you part of the community. And it's really just grown into something way beyond what I could have imagined, and it just keeps getting stronger. So
It has.
appreciate it.
It has been a blessing that, the group has been more than I could have ever, imagined. I've gotten, just gotten close to so many people in that group that I've never met, but everybody is so supportive and like really cheering each other on and helping each other. And it's unlike any kind of group, but any kind of group like that I've ever been involved with. So I'm just thankful to have been a part of that, and I'm ready to keep growing with the group. But I do have one thing to show you, because I know that following a tough act with
Yes, you
Octavio.
are. Yeah. What do you
So I
want to
didn't
show
bring
us?
my costume. I didn't have a costume, but I did make this for you.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So
Nice. How is that? Is that painted or
this
engraved?
is engraved.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's engraved. So it's on the reclaimed wood, and it's engraved, which this is going to be one of my next ventures. We're going to start doing custom products. But so anyway, I'm going to send that to you so you can add it to
Oh,
your
wow.
display
I
back
will
there.
definitely add it to my collection. That is awesome. That's a big piece of wood. That's a good chunky piece of wood too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, Tylinda, thank you so much again. And we'll probably have to do an update with you, because I know you're going to be taking action, just like that sign says.
Yeah.
And it's just part of your DNA now, which I'm glad. But thank you so much for coming on. Is there any last little bits of, I don't know, tips, recommendations for anyone that's just, whether they join or not, just wherever
Right.
they're at in their journey?
Definitely. Whether you're at the very beginning or in the middle, the most important thing, and I had to make myself do this, is to just go for it. I mean, just take action. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
For me, I could spend so many hours analyzing everything and not put out anything because it wasn't perfect enough, and I just had to learn to just go for it. Like that first blog, I had it written for over a month before I posted it because it wasn't just right for me. But you guys helped me to just, take action and do it. And that's what you need to do. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Just go.
I love that. I love it. And it's funny because Octavio was saying the same thing. He was just going back and forth. And then all of a sudden he's like, I just got to do this. So he did. And now he's a machine. As you know, he's like got such a rhythm going, and it's just awesome to see. So awesome. Tylinda, thank you so much again for hanging out with us here on the podcast. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the inside of BCA.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Well, there you have it. A great interview with Tylinda. And I'm so glad that she was able to come on and do this interview. I just love hearing people's stories in general because it's inspirational. It's motivational. And you know what? There's action steps that are packed in there as well. So I want you to maybe even go back and listen to this one again. And I want you to listen to what she did. And that is, and I'll just kind of refresh your memory if you don't remember, she built that email list, right? Now, not everyone is going to come into Brand Creators Academy needing to build the email list right away. She did. And that's exactly what she focused on. Now she's building out the content side, and she's already really taken her traffic to the next level. And she's going to be building on that over time. She's got a great foundation now. And so what I want you to do really here is think about where you are right now in your brand building journey and what do you need to focus on next. If you need help with that, then I encourage you to join us inside of Brand Creators Academy. If you're listening to this on July 6th or the week of July 6th, make sure that you go over to brandcreators.com/join and you'll get more information there and you'll see if it's a good fit for you. If you're listening to this after the fact, well, you might just want to go to brandcreators.com/checklist, and that will give you a free resource where you can kind of do a self-audit on your own business or the niche that you're considering going into. So definitely make sure that you do that. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you. But you have to, come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Now let's rock your brand.